J Motty here for Scotty and Motty, which means that is Scotty, and this is Agony Uncles. We've also got producer Alexei in the corner giving us his pearls of wisdom. As we always tell you, when you send in your problems and we give you the answers, we do not, repeat, we do not take any legal responsibility if you are foolish enough to listen to our advice. Yeah? We're just giving it you. What you do with it isn't our problem. No. Yeah, afterwards. It's like when we used to sell drugs. Forget that bit. What you do with it once you took it off is up to you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into it.
No. We don't condone our advice, and before we get into it, I've actually got an example of why we should not listen to our own advice. Because last week's Agony Uncles, we were talking about pooing in public spaces, and you said you're up for it, didn't you?
Did I?
Like you're pooing a toilet in a pub or a
yeah. No, sorry.
Not in a garden.
When you said like public spaces, I thought you meant like in the middle of a park or something.
No. So like in a supermarket.
In the toilets?
For this example.
Oh,
yeah, not in an aisle.
100%.
Right, so.
100%.
I never do that.
Why not?
Well, because I'm a bit like.
Look at me.
Exactly.
I moved from long science to 11 gym. I'm posh.
Yeah. I like clean loos. Anyway, I went to the supermarket on Sunday morning after the gym. I thought I'm gonna get all the gear for the nice full English after.
What time did you go to the supermarket?
Listen to me. This is very important.
Well, you said Sunday morning. What time was it?
It was 10:30.
10:30. The supermarket's open on a Sunday.
Listen.
Go on.
Walk into Sainsbury's. Do all my walk around the aisles. Get the bacon in, the eggs, bit of bread, and all that. It's quiet in here this morning, isn't it? Walking round, get like the frozen, they call hash browns. Went to the checkout, so we're not open for another half an hour.
I thought so.
So I went, well, why have you opened the door? You know, it's raining outside, we didn't want to let people stood outside. So literally walking round and empty, thought, this is dead easy, I'll get out of here. So I stood there, had half an hour to wait, thought, I need a poo. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Jay's advice, which I shouldn't have done. I thought and they're gonna be clean. It's 10:30 in the morning, supermarket. Nobody's used it.
The inaugural poo of the day.
Yeah.
From toilets.
I was gonna baptise that bog, right? So I found a nice shop assistant. I said, listen, I've just done all this shopping. Don't put it back. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna use the loo. She went, I'll look after your shopping for me. Right? Wet him, spotless, clean. As you would like.
Yeah,
like an advert for a new bathroom it was.
Yeah.
Sat down, doing a bit of my business, my poop, and then went to get the toilet roll. Right, now, I've never pooed in a public space like this before.
This is schoolboy.
Right.
Schoolboy errors.
I've gone to pull the loo roll, not realised that my elbow has set off the automatic flush behind me.
Right.
So I've got a bidet of poo shooting up my ass, and I've literally just shot up and gone, fuck! And it's literally just soaked me all the back. And I'm like, what do we do? What do I do here? What do I do? I'm not joking. Like, literally, it's gone wet inside my pants. So I sit back down, thinking, I've not really finished my poo, it's just a one plop. I've got to give it another wipe. So I grab another one. Fucking happens again. No, it gets worse. So I said, get up again. So it's doubly soaked inside my pants. Like, I'm wondering, what do I do here? Right, so I couldn't be arsed. I thought, I'm not going back down for a third time. There's no point. So, I dry as much as my balls and that off with tissue paper, throw it down. Don't fucking flush then, does it?
Oh,
right?
Man.
Walk out. I've still got 15 minutes to wait for the checkout to open. Walking around again with soaking bottom. And that's because I listened to your advice?
No.
You said
you've got it twisted.
You said
that's because you didn't listen to my advice.
You said it's safe to put poo in public.
I also said, why aren't your bum standing up?
That's why.
See, if you want to take a little bit of my advice and not the rest of it, which is integral to the first bit, that's your problem. You can't blame me when I have said, ever since we've had this discussion, I stand up to wipe my ass.
But all the time.
Yes, all the time. We've done all this. We are on a poll. I lost. I do it my way, as Frank Sinatra sang.
I understand it in the context of it having like automatic flush.
Doesn't matter. Right?
It does. You haven't got an automatic flush at your house.
Doesn't matter. If you do what I'd have told you to do, which is stand up to wipe your bum, you wouldn't have had that predicament.
I stood up twice. I like doing the Mexican wave.
Seriously. Listen,
absolutely terrified.
You've flopped, right? Because you've not only started taking advice off me anyway. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Secondly, you've took half the advice off me. And thirdly, I am sorry, brother, but you cannot blame me for not being able to use the toilet. Right?
I blame my mum. Anyway, that's enough of my problems trying to use the toilet in the supermarket. Producer Alexei, what have we got up for our first one?
Can I just say how concerning it is that 2/3 of this podcast have just struggle going to the toilet?
And can I just say that I am the one who hasn't struggled. The one who got chastised for standing up to wipe his bum. The one who's probably easily got the lowest IQ out of the three of us. And the oldest out of the lot of us as well, who's losing brain cells at a rate of knots. Yeah, I can successfully navigate a toilet.
It worries me because I just think a bit if we can't go and piss and shit, what can we do? Because that should be a thing that you just do without fear. But I mean, I get scared in TRA. In the
do you want me to Do you want me to send you both on a course?
Yeah,
we should do that.
I think there's a course that's it's only about 3 weeks where they teach you how to use the toilet. They say, look, here's how you go to the toilet. Here's how you use an automatic flush. Here's how you have a wee in a urinal without covering yourself in other people's urine. That sort of thing, yeah?
When did automatic flushes first come in? Because nobody ever told you how to use them. They were just there. Once upon a time it was handle.
You know what I think?
And then it was
I think they made the assumption that most people will be all right with an automatic flush.
But they shouldn't do that, really.
No, they shouldn't. They should have considered
I should have sent them a dry
people like you.
We should get Toilet Duck as a sponsor.
Do you know what it is as well? Jay could run this course and go under the pseudonym of Jay Potty and then teach everyone how to be potty trained in that. Yeah. I think this is...
So we're all going to be stood naked in this and have pretend
That's not till the third week, that.
Oh, right,
first week is just theory. You don't get to the practical first time round, son. You've got a full week of studying, taking notes, questions. It's all about the theory of going to the toilet.
How many sheets?
Second week, you're introduced to the toilet. You get to look at it, you get to see it.
Oh,
you get
mechanics and stuff.
Mechanics of it. The third week, then you get to do the practical.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's a process. You don't just go straight in with using the toilet in your first week.
Jay Motty's potty training.
Speaking of shit as well, Jay already knows the answer to this. But Scotty, can you guess? Obviously, I saw Chris Evans the other week. Can you guess who I saw on the way into work today?
Is this in reference to what we've just been talking about?
No, it's just a segue.
Oh, right, okay.
This is better than his usual.
Than Chris Evans?
In terms of there's something you don't see every day.
All right, where were they?
They were outside the Premier Inn opposite the G-Mex. They were outside, the table thing they have in Premier Inn. It's like the bar next to it.
Yeah.
They were stood outside there holding some high heels, and they had a few people around them.
Holding high heels?
Yeah.
Is it Keir Starmer?
No.
The Tory things around there, innit, at the moment. Who is it?
Well, the former...
Have a guess. Wait a minute. Right. I know Keir Starmer is a Tory, and we always say that, but he's technically not. He is the leader of the Labour Party.
Rishi Sunak, then.
Right. Think about this for a minute. You're worrying me now, because not only are you failing to use the toilet, you're completely getting this wrong when the clues are right there in front of your face. Right, let me explain this to you, because I speak the same lingo as Scotty. We grew up in a similar background. It's the Tory party conference.
Yes.
It's someone of note holding high heel shoes. Most people who wear high heels, not exclusively, are women.
Right.
So, a Tory, potentially woman, of prominence where you go, oh, crikey, there's... Who could that be?
Thatcher.
Right. Try choosing one who's not dead.
All right. Theresa May.
Well, you got there in the end.
Was it really Theresa May?
Yeah. Jesus, well, you only had two options, didn't you, really?
Suella Braverman.
Oh, right, okay. You could have done that. But I would have gone... I was thinking more if you're going to go for the Prime Ministers, you're going to go either Truss or May, aren't you?
Okay, yeah.
But you could have gone Braverman, to be fair to you. Yeah, you got there in the end. What did you say to her?
I didn't say much. Do you know what? Did
you say I voted for you?
I had to do a pre-text to Jay warning I might be a bit late because of the conference because it blocks my thing. And I was walking up. I was really in a bit of a, because I would never be late to work, Jay. You know that. And I was just walking towards, and I just like, is that Theresa May? And I kind of was like, why is she outside the table? And I stared her in the eyes. And I was like,
was she with anyone? Did she have security in that?
Yeah. She had. I don't know if it's security. There was just a couple of people around her with blazers on. Maybe they are secure. They probably must.
You think an ex-prime minister would always have security?
Yeah.
They're not scared with you in your Stone Island jacket?
Well, the thing is, right, after that happened, they did declare a national security event because they said, if I'm around former prime ministers, it's like one of those Liam Neeson films. You know, Theresa May stuck outside a Premier Inn. There's a very dangerous man on the loose. You know, who can stop them? And as I was outside the Premier Inn, Idris Elba comes down and shoots me in the head. And I was like, that is a massive plot twist. And yeah, but
Idris Elba's a secret Tory. Is that what you just said?
I think, no, do you know what it is?
Yeah.
They just outed him as a conservative.
Russell Stringer Bell is a Tory. Well, he was a bit of a Tory in the Wire, wasn't he?
I don't think Idris Elba would be a Tory, but he'd be one of those... He'd probably be more Labour, but he'd go, this is about national service, and we can't have ex-prime ministers, you know, getting... I think that'd be his general gist. But yeah, I saw young Theresa, Mother Theresa, as I call her. And yeah, she was doing... It's weird because Table. Have either of you been to Table?
I don't even know what you're on about when you say Table. What is that?
It's the pub within Premier Inn.
Right.
If you know what I mean. So like,
who goes to a pub within a Premier Inn?
Well, exactly.
What sort of clientele do you get in there?
Ex-prime ministers, man.
Yeah. And I do... You know, you think like the people she's met in her life, she's met all these like people, and you think it's weird, isn't it, that she today was thinking, wow, I've met the producer of Scotty and Motty outside a table. Do you think that was quite seminal for her, or do you think this is the kind of thing she's trying to not think about too much to cope?
I think given how successful she was in power, that's probably the highlight of her career, me and you.
Yeah.
It's my highlight of my career, seeing myself in the mirror every day.
Wow. Right, give us a
that
problem.
My husband killed my cat when coming out of the drive a few months ago, and I was so mad at him, I got drunk and slept with someone behind his back. Do I tell him?
I hate cats.
Oh, wash your mouth out with soap and water.
I'd never kill one.
No, I like cats. Our cat's ace. Shout out to our previous cats. Jose, who went missing, who's at the farm now. And Jimmy, whose ashes are on our side. May he rest in peace. And Ronnie, who's our cat now, who's going strong. We didn't buy Ronnie to replace Jimmy, by the way. We had them both at the same time.
Who's Jimmy named after?
We don't name him. There's no reference.
Josie and Ronnie are.
Jose was Mourinho. Ronnie was Ronaldo.
Jose have enough.
He went away.
Yeah.
Wherever he went.
Italy.
Yeah, he went to, pastures new. I like cats. Running over a cat is an accident. It happens. I was panicked that I'm going to run over my cat when he goes bombing about near the front drive. Shagging someone behind your fella's back because he accidentally ran over your cat, I think it's a bit harsh.
Don't know.
Really?
I wish Matt really loved the cat.
Listen, my missus get that all right.
Which one?
Before I'm getting run over like your cat. Loves my cat. If I ran over the cat and she'd turn around to me and said, "I've banged someone behind your back to get you back," I wouldn't be like, "Okay, that's fair. That's now we're even." I'd be raging.
I mean, revenge sex for murder.
It's not murder, is it? It's an accident, wasn't it?
Well,
you think it's murder? I think it's an accident.
Cat slaughter, then.
I think the best thing to do is not say anything. Just keep it to yourself. You know in your head what you've done.
Yeah.
You've got him back. I don't think telling him is going to get you anywhere, because I don't think you can justify it by going, you killed the cats or shag someone.
How about, is there any cause for revenge sex? Do you think?
No, I'm not. I don't think so. Do you?
Not really.
No. Have you seen that thing? What's that? What have you heard about that story about Candy Montgomery?
Who?
Candy Montgomery, right? Yeah. She's the let me find the story of I watched it the other day because there's these shows on. There's a show on about it. Sorry, Love and what is it? Sorry, right? Let me
find it and then we'll speak to Alexei. What would you do in this scenario?
To be honest, this doesn't sound like a very nice scenario to be in.
For the cat.
There's if you're the cat, you're
Love
gutted.
and Death. That was it.
If you're the cat, you're gutted about this because you're like, well, I'm dead. So you're sad about that. And then also there's marriage issues. I would simply not murder the cat. I know it's a bit.
I don't think it's murder. It was an accident, wasn't it? If you just ran over it.
Yeah, but like you can't just kill things. If I just I don't know. I just don't like killing cats. I know, each to their own and that. But it's not really my thing. Obviously, I'm more kind of,
I'd have hid the cat though.
Have you seen that? Have you guys seen Peep Show?
Oh no, man.
You wouldn't admit it, would you?
I'll have to.
Remember when Chris Moltisanti with the dog in Sopranos?
Yeah, a little, what was it, Coco, whatever her name was. Cosette.
If like I'd killed my partner's cat
Yeah.
and she wasn't in the house,
Yeah.
that shit's gone and, for a swim or something. Like, or however you can legally...
That's worse though, because then you've got all the kids out with posters looking for the cat. Because that's what happened. That's what happened with Jose. When
you give him something to do. Oh, that's lovely. I love what you've done there. Oh, and then just make sure that it doesn't come to the surface of the canal.
What are you on about? You're on about Peep Show, aren't you, when they kill the dog and then they eat it?
Yeah, so have you seen this, Scotty? This
No.
episode? It's the most cringe episode of anything ever. Basically, Jeremy and Mark are trying to they meet these girls on Mark's stag, and Mark's offered a job by one of them working for like some thingy, this big company in India making loads of money. Jeremy's trying to get with one of the girls, and they have this dog called Mummy, and basically Jeremy accidentally runs Mummy over, and then he then goes around putting wanted posters up for Mummy. He then burns Mummy. He then puts Mummy in a bag, and then when they see the girls again, he's still got the bag, right? He hasn't dumped it anywhere, and basically they're meant to be having a barbecue that evening on the boat, and they get on the boat, and they're looking for Mummy, and they see the bag with the burnt dog in, and they go, "Oh, what's that?" So Jeremy's like, "Oh, it's just the meat." And they go, "Try some." So he then eats the dead dog, and then they see it's got Mummy's collar on it.
Oh my God.
And the last line is, they've eaten Mummy and they've killed her, and then they run away, having eaten and killed the dog in front of the people they were trying to get the job from.
Wow.
I can't think. It's so awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is bad.
I might watch Peep Show again.
Yeah,
tonight.
Peep Show was quality. Yeah, that is cringe, but I don't think you need to be eating the cat. I just feel like, or hiding it. Come clean, yeah, I've ran over the cat, but his missus, who's obviously gone and done what she's done, I think she just needs to keep that from him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Do you know what I mean? It was Love and Death was the thing I was trying to talk about, Candy Montgomery. It's a true story in America where this woman found out her husband was having an affair with this other woman, and then attacks the other woman, supposedly with an axe, but the other woman killed her. And it was a big case in America. And there's been a couple of shows out, Candy with Jessica Biel, and then Love and Death with Elizabeth Olsen. Two shows that cover it. It's fascinating, man. It really is.
Well, in terms of who's in the wrong there.
Yeah, it's a true story.
So she's protecting herself and ends up killing her?
Yeah, that's the official line.
Well,
she got a plot spoiler. She got her not guilty.
Well, if someone's trying to kill you and you defend yourself and you kill them back, it's their own fault.
Exactly.
That's
That's how the jury saw it.
They didn't need to do it to go to jury. They could have just sent it in to us.
Exactly.
Like this next person has.
So, next problem for today.
This came in late, didn't it, today?
This is from Gary Hawkes. He emailed this in. He said, "Hi guys, love the show. Always has been stitches. However, I have a problem. The now ex-girlfriend keeps giving me grief over stupid things. She has a new boyfriend. However, we met to hand over the kid. And as I went to get a drink, I left my phone on the table, where I received a message from another woman. She got up, said she didn't want to see it, and left. Why is it okay for her to have a new partner, but not for me to have girlfriends? Thanks, guys, and much love from my local homeboy geezer, Alexei, as I'm from Cornwall, haha. P.S. She said she doesn't have a boyfriend, but she's always with him, ?
That's from Gary Hawkes, Chesney's brother.
Yeah. One and only.
Exactly. I mean, hypocrisy. It's just typical, innit? There's just so much hypocrisy that goes on in the world. And it sounds like a bit of that. I ain't got a boyfriend, but she's always with him. What's she doing hanging around with him as his mate?
People have friends who are the opposite sex.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like, that you
On a
hang around with
regular
all
basis.
the time?
Yeah, I don't know. Unless you've got any
I did
evidence.
at uni, but that was 15 years ago.
I mean, either way, you split up and whatever, like you're doing, Gary, is none of her business as far as
listen,
she should
exactly.
be.
Unless you're going out with someone who's a right dickhead and who's kicking off with the kids, it's none of her business.
No, I think there's a... Have you ever heard of the rapper Joe Budden?
Joe Budden?
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
No, well, you haven't, obviously. Anyways, he's a very successful podcaster now as well. But one of the
Another
lines...
Is anyone who's not got a podcast?
you know, if you haven't got... There's less people who haven't got one in there.
I know.
One of the lines in his songs goes, "You left me, so what does me doing me got to do with you?" I think is the line.
I like
Like, you doing you do me, or
You
whatever.
do you,
Someone,
and I'll do
someone's
me.
doing someone.
Yeah,
Well,
do you know what I mean? Just say that to her. Say, listen,
you're doing
Mate.
you, I'm doing me,
Yeah.
and this me wants to do her.
Yeah.
So you can do one.
and also, by the way, leaving your phone out, even with your ex, it's bad gear. Just don't.
Notifications off.
Yeah, just seriously. If you do leave your phone lying around your ex, just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just tell her to do one, man, because it's none of her business. And if she's giving you grief over the kids, then I don't know. It seems like she's got some unresolved issues.
You got to keep the peace a little bit, haven't you?
No, you got to keep it, but it sounds like she's the one who's giving all the grief.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, imagine Gary's not, tell us all the stuff.
Just say to her, listen, did you think I was going to be on the shelf forever?
Yeah,
You know
did you
what I
say,
mean?
like, I'm literally
Like,
Chesney Hawkes' brother.
And I'm from the ends, Cornwall. Do you know what I mean? Come on. You know what Cornwall's like for women?
Yeah.
Can't move down there, can you, Alexa?
Oh, swimming in it, Jay. Swimming.
I know. I've
Some
heard
would say
stories.
drowning.
Drowning in women.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, Gary, just stick to your guns, bro. Say, look, we had our time. Now we've moved on. You do you, and I'll do me.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
exactly
Joe
it.
Budden
Yeah,
says.
exactly.
You'll be all right, son.
So, next problem. I found some flirty texts on my girlfriend's phone to someone else. Do I confront her or let it slide?
Bro, I'm angry for you. I'm honestly angry for you. Right, for starters, what are you doing going in the phone, though? That's the thing that's going to get thrown back in your face. What are you doing going in my phone?
Yeah, but the response
and there is a
gonna
bit
be,
of a
the
point
response
there.
is going to be what?
Yeah.
Well, it's just as well I went through my phone, otherwise I'd not found.
Like, it is bad gear going through the phone. I would lose my shit. I ain't going to lie to you. If I found flirty texts on my missus' phone, I wouldn't be able to
Really?
not say anything.
That's why I only DM her.
And I've said to him, for what are you DMing him for? What are you sending flirty messages for? I have to. You don't have to. What's the matter with you?
I mean, you've dug your own hole here, haven't you?
Yeah. I
Mate.
think you've got to take the hit of what you're doing going from the phone for the payback of you're taking a piss out of me, sending flirty messages to next man.
Why don't you say, don't play out like you've been on the phone and say, you seem to be on your phone a lot, who's that? And then just start digging a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And then say, let me see your phone. And then when she says no, and he goes, why not let me see your phone?
Find the flirty text, right? Copy and paste them, then send them her again from your phone.
Oh,
Mind.
man.
Psychological warfare, yeah. Psychological warfare.
I'll get the guy's number.
Do what?
Something.
Send him some flirty text.
Yeah. Oh, what I do is like send the guy and say, I heard you've been flirting with missus. We're into like freeways and stuff. Yeah.
Just fancy coming around
Fancy
tonight.
coming round.
For the
You on the
menage a
bottom,
trois.
you on the bottom, me on the
Yeah.
top.
What about if he says yeah though?
I don't know, new life.
Yeah, I just sort of. If it's me, I'd confront her, because I'm one of them. Me, you know when like you try to pretend that now it's wrong,
Yeah.
and you go, look, what's wrong? Nothing, and it's obvious you're raging. I just couldn't hold it in. I'll just be like, what's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? These fucking sex. That's what's wrong.
I hold it in too long.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, that's where it can build up.
No, it does.
So
It does. And then
crescendo.
it's like Joe Pesci.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. You don't want that. So I think confrontation straight away. What is going on? Are we done? If you're texting next man, flirty text, we must be done.
I mean, it might
What
just
is
be a
the
bit
point?
harmless.
Is there ever harmless flirty text with next people, with someone else? Is there? Is that not we're done? Do you really? I just think you're done. I honestly think.
You don't ever,
it is
you never
over.
flirted in an office with anybody.
No, absolutely not. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. Since I met Vaughan, I was at Keaton on Frey where he used to work. I didn't flirt with anyone. I was not that guy, and I certainly wouldn't be sending fucking
Not flirty, like, but
flirty
like,
text
like,
with
like
anyone.
what people interpret as flirty, like not like I want to shag you sort of stuff, but just like
That's not flirty. That's just playing on.
Yeah,
Yeah, trying it on with people. Sort of flirting is that? I want to shag you. Oh, I'm always flirting me. You know what I'm like? I'm a right flirt. Can I fuck you? I want to right now. Oh, what am I? He's such a flirty character. That's Scotty. Oh, such a debonair cat. Can I fuck you? Because I really want to. Just flirting. You know what I'm like? That's not flirting. Jesus wept.
I've been out of the game, man.
Hey, if those are the types of flirty messages my man's getting and there's something going on, I'd be definitely be kicking off. Flirting? Have you ever flirted with anyone where you say, I want to fuck you? No. Oh my God.
I always said honesty was the best
That's
policy.
unreal, that. See, that sounded flirting long sight. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no point beating around the bush.
I know. Hey. Alexei, you're a man of the world. Much like my friend here. Do you buy into this flirting's harmless nonsense?
No, I think both things are wrong, to be honest. I think you shouldn't be going through someone's phone.
True.
I think that's kind of wrong in its own right, because
It's wrong in its own right. I like that.
You're already kind of
Excuse me.
portraying yourself as being a bit looking for something anyway, and obviously the flirting is wrong as well. So you've got a situation there where both people in the situation are dickheads, basically, I think.
Ah, you know what you could do? You could switch it round.
Did the old switcheroo?
You could say, listen, I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't have done it, but I've gone through your phone. I'll apologise before.
Yeah.
Takes the sting out.
Yeah. You could do. I think two things, right? One, if you're going through your partner's phone, you're done. It's over. Forget it. And two, if your partner's flirting with someone else, it's done. So you've got two double whammies there. Just call it a day, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously. I don't like giving advice where it's like make these, life-changing decisions because, it's a bit different than just standing up to right your ass. But I think you're done, personally.
Yeah, I need to up my flirting game, apparently. Or down it.
I think you need to downgrade it a lot.
Dilute that shit, right? Can I fuck you?
I'm glad you don't, do you know what? I'm so glad you don't flirt on Twitter or something.
Oh.
Imagine that. Imagine seeing a tweet like that. What have you been doing? I've been flirting with someone on Twitter. Can I fuck you?
In caps.
Yeah, like,
winky emoji.
Like, what? What's this? He's lost the fucking but I'm just flirting.
No, just your fancy your fuck.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely ruthless scenarios.
Next.
Have you got any more for us, Alexei?
Next up, sorry, just before I read this, I've just looked at the bottom right of the computer. I can't believe it's October. That's really just spun my head a bit. I suffer from anxiety and I'm always cautious of other people's opinions of me and my work. What can I do?
Well, for starters, you're very normal. Just say that one. I think so many people, including I think 100% of this podcast, suffer from anxiety. I know there's different shades of it, different degrees, but it happens a lot. Other people's opinions, I think there's an element of that with us all. We all care about what other people think of us and our work. What can you do? I think it's a really good question, that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, normalise it.
Yeah.
By realising that you're not alone in that anxiety, that everybody suffers from this sort of what will so and so think of me. I heard a great line in this. Have you ever heard of Alex Hormozy?
Who hasn't?
He's like fucking hell. You need to read more, man. He's like a
sorry.
Yeah, or listen to more podcasts or whatever. Anyway, he has this line about in 3 generations after you're dead, no one will remember you. So why would you give a fuck about what anybody else's opinion is?
Whilst that is arguably very true, it doesn't help you in that scenario, does it? That in 100 years, no one's going to remember.
What I mean is why do you attach weight to somebody's opinion that is going to be of irrelevance anyway?
What you got to remember as well in this scenario is a lot of those people that you care about what they think of you, they care what you think of them. We're all in the same boat, a lot of us. Do you know what I mean? We all have this similar thing of we think, oh, is that person think this is us? Is that person think... do you know what I mean? And you're probably like, I ain't got a negative opinion of them. I don't really bother. But they can be going through the same thing with you. So I think, to own it like you are doing is the first step. Secondly, just... I know it sounds like a bit like obviously, but if you're doing your job and doing your work to the best of your ability, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
If it's about your work, because I do it. Listen, when I got into this, because the thing when you do YouTube is you get instant feedback. Yeah. And I remember I took over.
Instant criticism.
Yeah. No, you're perfectly right. And I remember, because I'd done a little bit of full-time Devils on and off, but I've been a reporter, so I've not done that much. And then when I went full-time, I took over like a lot of the videos. I was on a lot of the videos because we had to mix it up a bit, and certain videos that McCullough couldn't do or Howson couldn't do, I'd do them. I remember the first live I did where I took over from Macca, and there was a bit like, there was 10 seconds where I was on the screen before I even spoke, because it was like the way we used to do it. You come up and then like the comments would be there and then you start talking. and about the first 50 comments, before I even opened my mouth, were negative ones.
Yeah.
Like, who's this loser? Who's this dickhead? Where's McCullough? Who is this guy? And it was like, right, I've not even spoke yet. Like, I've not even done anything. Do you know what I mean? And then it was like that for about a week or two, and then it got easier as people realised, you know what, he's not a complete knobhead. Although some people
you get flogged before you're even allowed to sort of
and
say
then it came
anything.
out. But I had to have a bit of a thick skin, because if I'd have just gone, oh my god, all this negative criticism and feedback, I can't cope, I never would have got that past that first video.
No.
And then you realise that, you know, a lot of people just saying things for effect, or just they don't like change or things like that. But in terms of you and your work, as long as you're doing a good job, which I knew I was doing a good job as well, deep down, then you'd be fine.
Prove it to yourself, I think, as well, innit? I think just have a higher worth for yourself rather than anybody else's opinions. I had that as well when I first started doing stuff on Full-Time Devils. Even when I went to Paddock, people like Uzi. And then but then someone said, oh, he looks like the son of Pochettino. And then somebody said he looks like Michael Owen's son, and that really fucking hurt. So I don't want any more of them. But yeah.
Another thing as well, like me and Alexei, we have one-to-ones, don't we, son?
Yeah.
So any feedback, it's dealt with immediately. You know what I mean? Every week, come hell or high water, we have a one-to-one, which is usually me and him just fucking gossiping. But if there's anything like, you know, this needs addressing, or we need to do this, it gets dealt with straight away. So maybe if you're feeling a little bit on it, like, is my work good enough? Ask your boss, hey, can we have like meetings and regular feedback, and that way that can put your mind at rest.
Just to switch this around a little bit, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, is that how we used to always value our heroes, either in society or in sport or politics, it was usually by their deeds. But do you not think nowadays we seem to attach it by opinion? Like, we follow people more about what they say rather than what they've done. Do you know that's what social media has done for us?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. Yeah, I think a lot of the social media stars are ones based on opinion, aren't they?
Yeah.
They don't do anything. They're not, like, some of them are.
It's all playing to the crowd as well, aren't they?
But a lot of the people that are very popular, you know, what's their skill set? What have they done in life? Nothing, just waffled nonsense into a camera, which is what kind of I do for a living, so I can't knock it too much. But no, I think you're right, and I think a lot of the time that's what sells, isn't it? So.
And that's the thing is with that sort of ethos, though, is that because you value opinions more, even though they're not, you know, might just be token gestures, that maybe that's because of that, that's why it adds more anxiety what other people think of you, even though it's like a false sort of sphere.
I think the world anyway now is difficult, and with social media, with all the stuff that goes on with it, that it's on. I think it's on everyone a bit more.
You just got to take everything with a pinch of salt, and unless you don't know that person, and I seriously don't give a shit about anyone's opinion.
No,
if I do not know them, then that's it. Have you seen that Tom Holland? I think I mentioned this before, that Tom Holland video where he's talking about not Gareth Bale, Christian Bale. He says, "Have you got my telephone number?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Well, you can't have my problem with me if you haven't got my telephone number." Right. So you know, like that. That's how concerned you are. If it's within your circle, then maybe, but outside of that,
fair enough. What do you reckon, producer Alexei?
Yeah, I mean, I've suffered with anxiety a lot throughout my life, like in different situations, and I had it for ages where I don't think I've told you this before, Jay, but like if I was like ill or something, like I'd be so worried about like saying I was ill, because I'd be like, oh, he probably thinks that like I'm just sacking it off and I don't want to do the job anymore and all this kind of thing, and like kind of you just overthink every interaction almost. And I remember it was like November last year. It was when I was still part-time before I became the full-time socials person. I was really ill. Like I'd had a really bad cold, and I was like thrown up, and I was just done in. And there was a match that day, and I was so ill. But I was just saying to my mate, I just don't want to call in sick. I feel bad, you know, because it's not fair on people. And my mate just said, like, ultimately, like, whatever job you do, whatever job you're in, people are ill, and people understand, because at some point your boss will be ill as well. And that kind of made me feel a lot better, because I kind of just thought, I've just got to view it that way, that, you know, one day, like like with Paddock, one day Joe might be off ill, or you might be off ill, and then I felt a bit better thinking about it that way, because I thought, yeah, it's not possible to go in every day, and you can't control when you're ill, and that was like a massive anxiety, and I kind of got over that just through that. But I think if you're struggling a lot in general, I think honestly just speak to someone. So you can speak to GP, and they can refer you to a therapist or whatever. And I think it's really important to speak about it, because sometimes there's a lot of things you might have that are causing you anxiety that you don't know the root cause of, and sometimes finding what the root cause of those things are can help you cope with things. And you know, sometimes if you're having a bad moment, just stopping for 10 seconds and taking a deep breath and thinking, right, let's think about this rationally. I've worried about this before and nothing bad's happened, so why should anything bad happen now?
Yeah.
Thinking about that for 10 seconds helps so much. I used to have it at, I had it at United games after COVID, where I just had this really weird anxiety every time I went, because it was probably because of the crowd. I don't know what it was. And I always felt sick, really sick, before. Me and my friend James, when we used to go together, every time for a game, I was like, I feel really sick. I feel like I'm going to be sick. My stomach's done. I feel like I'm going to be sick. As soon as we went in and I had a pint, it was gone.
Yeah.
And I realised soon afterwards, I was like, oh, I don't actually feel sick, because I thought it was just I was ill. I don't actually feel sick. I just felt anxious. And now I just go without thinking about it. I just go in and it's fine, because I know I'm safe there. But I get, for people, it takes so many attempts. So I would really say, if you're struggling with any of this, like, speak to your friends, because one comment from a friend can help a lot. Speak to your boss, but also reach out to a GP, because I know things are difficult at the moment with getting appointments, but be patient, get an appointment, and it will really help you out, and hopefully it will really improve your life for the better.
Yeah, really good advice. Right, well, I think we'll call
that is really good advice. And, you know, I don't mind if you are ill, let's see, you know that. But I'd just like to point out as well, I'm never ill.
Right, before we go, I just want to give a shout out to the two brothers that I met in Night and Day Cafe on Saturday night, who were very complimentary about Agony Uncles.
Were they?
Literally stood at the bar, and I can't remember the names, and he turned around and went, "It's you." And then we sat down and had a night and talked about Agony Uncles.
Really?
And then one of the members that were with them ended up causing a problem that I was going to discuss tonight.
Yeah.
But we'll do that next week. I've been Scotty, that's been Motty, and that's been producer Alexei. Right bastard he was.